Okay.
Curt and Jen, it's the podcast. Thanks for being here on this Wednesday.
We got to get into it quickly because we have a lot to go over today. But as always, we appreciate you being here and we would love it if you would like, follow, subscribe, all the things, as Jen says. We'd be happy to have you do. You're going to find out today things men enjoy that they might hide from their buddies, like hobbies and some other stuff.
We're going to talk about Girl Scout cookies and things that you should stop paying for.
That
Not
was
that
our
you should
question.
stop paying for Girl Scout cookies.
Question of the day from yesterday. That's what that was. A couple of fast food stories we're going to share about Wendy's and McDonald's coming up here. How cleaning makes you feel.
And we've got the dirtiest sounding cities and towns, which I cannot wait to talk about.
That was a fun one, by the way.
But first, how Curt hurt Jen Pirac's feelings.
I did?
Yes, Curt.
How did I hurt your feelings?
I get this call from Jackie, my roommate, saying, "Hey, are you going to trivia tonight?" And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And she's like, "Oh, Curt sent out a text inviting a bunch of people to play trivia." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't get it. I guess that means he really doesn't want me to be a part of trivia because I suck so badly, even though I'm a great cheerleader."
You are fantastic. It also could be that you're in Cedro Woolley and I knew you wouldn't be going.
Wait a second.
Oop, eep, oop.
No, Curt Cruz, just because I'm in Cedro Woolley doesn't mean I don't have a vehicle.
All right. I apologize.
Like, that's not nice. Like, that's my worst fear when I move up here finally. Like, I'm going to move up here after Macy graduates. That's the plan. Is that people are just going to stop inviting me to things because I'm in Cedro freaking Woolley?
I honestly thought you'd feel worse if I invited you and you had to say, of course I can't go. I'm in Cedro Woolley. Me. But I
No,
apologize.
don't assume. This is my rule of thumb for real.
Mhm.
I there's things like events that I plan, right? You know
Right.
that because I love gathering people. It's one of my passions. I love just bringing people together.
Sure.
And sometimes I will know that someone cannot go, right? But I'm
Right.
like, you know what? I want them to know they're included. So
Okay.
maybe they'll want to change their plans. Let them say no.
I was trying to protect your feelings versus
Poopy
hurt them.
pants.
What'd you call me? Poopy pants?
Yes.
Now that's just hurtful on purpose.
Okay. How did trivia go?
Trivia night at Sean O'Donnell's went pretty well for our team whiskey business. You were missed, but
Blah blah blah.
we ended up coming in eighth place. So
I
we
mean,
made it top 10. And it
did
was,
you?
by the way, it was absolutely packed. I've never seen more people in there except for on St. Patrick's Day.
I love that so
Yeah.
much.
Which,
I
by the
love that
way,
for Sean O'Donnell's.
Monday is going to be an absolute madhouse there, but it's always a lot of fun. So you're correct. Maybe if you had been there, we could have been in seventh or sixth place. You never know.
Well, what I was gonna say is, whenever I've been there, we've never been in the top 10. So maybe there's something to be said about Jen Pirac not being there. But please still invite me anyway.
I will always invite you. I will never
I can get my own
assume.
table.
You get what?
I can get my own table.
Why are you getting your own table? That's not the point of you being there.
Anyway, move on.
All right, I am
Sad
moving
news.
on.
Sad,
And
sad news. This made my heart so sad yesterday.
yeah. If you are local and have been listening to radio here in
Seattle
Seattle
radio.
for any amount of time, you're familiar with a guy named Bob Rivers. Actually, you are nationally and perhaps internationally familiar with Bob Rivers because he did all these fun parody songs. He called Twisted Christmas, all those goofy little Christmas songs you've
Twisted
probably heard
tunes.
over
Twisted
the years.
tunes.
What's that?
He,
Twisted
he
Twisted
called
Tunes,
them
right?
Twisted Tunes.
Uh, he has been actually keeping, he's been struggling. He's been fighting cancer for quite some time and actually been keeping people updated on the situation. But he did pass away yesterday at the age of, I think, 69. Um, Bob Rivers
Yeah.
I would hold up, and I think Jen as well, as an example of how to do really, really great radio. I mean,
Yes.
where we would look at it and say, wow, that guy is really something special. And I think it's so. I worked with Bob briefly, not directly. We were both working for CBS in 2002. So I was working for what was then 96.5 The Point,
Yes.
right? And he was working doing mornings at KZOK. So we would bump into each other in the hall and say hello. I'm not going to, say that we didn't have a bad, we just didn't really, we talked occasionally, but I'm not going to say he was a close buddy. That would be
Okay.
unfair. but just a really great guy, and by all accounts, just a great human being as well.
And that's the thing I wanted to say. He was funny, he was entertaining, he knew how to connect with people and
Hmm.
genuinely kind. Like I did not I'm bummed that I never got the chance to work with him, but he was
Yeah.
always so nice. We run into all their other radio talent at different kinds of events and client
Hmm.
things and all that, and he was always so kind. Like,
Yeah.
yes, like an example that it and a reminder to do better.
He is, I believe, in the Radio Hall of Fame. And his son Andrew, by the
Yes.
way, is doing stand up and is very funny if you get a chance to see Andrew Rivers. Here's a few of the twisted tunes from Twisted Christmas that you might remember. This is an example of Bob's great stuff.
Lacy things, the wife is missing. Didn't ask for her permission. I'm wearing her clothes, her silk pantyhose, walking round in women's underwear.
So talented.
Thing at Christmas that's such a pain to me. 5 months of bills.
Sending Christmas cards, hangovers, rigging up the lights.
And finding the Christmas tree.
One more.
The restroom door said gentlemen, so I just walked inside. I took 2 steps and realized I'd been taken for a ride. I heard my voices turned and found the place was occupied by 2 nuns, 3 old ladies, and a nurse. What could be worse?
There you go.
You
Do
know
those still
what?
hold up?
What?
Do those still hold up?
Oh, I mean, I think so. I just think that they're funny. If you were gonna do a parody, I
Mhm.
think that anyone compared their parody to, like, does it hold up to Bob Rivers' standards of a
Yeah.
parody?
And he did
Which was one of
so many.
yeah.
So rest in peace.
Not just Christmas ones. Like the last one he did was something like I
Oh,
don't want to shake your hand in the tune
it was
of,
a Beatles parody,
yeah, I want to
don't
hold
want to
your,
shake your for COVID.
yes, that was the
Very,
last one he
very
did.
extremely talented. One of those people you can say that there will probably never be another, So,
No, it's one of
what
mine.
about Steve West, by the way?
Well, I just mentioned him because he died on the same day. I mean, he died yesterday as well. And he also is a great Seattle radio legend on the programming side of things.
Hmm.
Like
Okay.
KJR, like yeah, he is talked about. He's just not, I don't believe he was an on-air talent locally,
Okay. It's
but huge in Seattle radio and launching people's careers.
I just want to share something very quickly because when I came here from Detroit in 2002, and I found out very quickly that how fortunate I was to be able to do that because the Seattle radio people don't leave. They might rotate through radio stations and stuff like that, but people love it here, and so the opportunity that I have to thank my friend Garrett Michaels for to actually break into the Seattle market as a quote unquote outsider. And I found out when I got here, you, Jen, and everybody knew everybody and had worked with everybody at some point, and everybody got along. They were all very friendly. There was no, I mean, yeah, we're competitive because it's the business, but I think that this market for radio, and it's changed obviously recently, but is very unique, and I feel very privileged to have been able to do that and work in radio as long as we did. So
Yeah, for sure.
enough about that. So yeah, anyway, he will be missed absolutely.
I forgot to show you the Wendy Market shirt. The one you got me. Thanks again.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
I'm glad you're wearing it, even though you were mad at me for unintentionally hurting your feelings.
I'll get over it.
Thanks for supporting the Kraken. This is something that you found, Jen. I think it's hilarious and also accurate.
Yeah, things that men enjoy but might hide from their buddies.
Right. So, and I guess for me, it would be that Dana and I watch a lot of Hallmark movies. Although I'm actually kind of proud of that in a weird backwards way because I don't really care. That's what it is. It's like people like, you watch Hallmark movies? Yeah, we run them in the background. Who gives a crap?
You watch a lot. You watch a lot of the Hallmark Channel. Anyway, so these are just some things that it was a thing that it was a question posed on Reddit, and
Mhm.
people and guys were like, "Oh," or women were outing their guys, right?
So here's some examples, and I know that we're going to hit on some that some guys are going to say, "Oh, that's me," but this dude says, "I have stuffed animals and plushie from Squishmallow on my bed." All right.
I don't want to be judgy, but I would have to say that if I was dating a guy and we went over to his house and there were stuffed animals on his bed, I'd be a little like, I don't know about
Isn't that
that.
something? Because people talk about toxic masculinity and men should be blah 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 and whatever, and it's like, okay, well, maybe a squishmallow has gone too far the other way. Guys that say I secretly love motivational quotes, and a dude that says bubble baths. Bubble baths are pretty awesome, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, my wife and I watch every season of Love is Blind on Netflix, and I love it. There's
Right.
sewing, there's baking. I enjoy listening to boy bands like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
More of the things that dudes say that they like but might hide from their friends is the guys I like romantic comedy is in fruity cocktails. This person likes romance novels and getting pedicures. Also, this is going to sound lame, but pedicures to me are like ticklish. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I want Pat to go to get a pedicure with me, and he will not. He's like, that is just not my thing. I'm not doing it.
I've gone once. So another guy said I build Legos.
I don't think that's a bad thing. Like building Legos is fun.
Yeah. And finally, the last person on here is like classical music. I'm sure my friends would be okay with that, but I'm a general contractor and there's a stigma of rugged manliness attached to my job. Let me tell you, people ask you about, if you were stuck, deserted island with one song, it would be classical music for me, without question. I think it's without question, the best, I mean, it's stood the test of hundreds of years, whether you're talking about the Brandenburg concertos. My favorite is Beethoven's Ninth, which just,
Yes. Moving? Is it moving?
Yeah, the Four Seasons,
Yeah.
anything. So anyway, I agree that should be on that guy put this on the list of things that they might hide from their friends, but I love classical music.
That's awesome, Curt.
And there you go. Look at all the confessions from Curt Cruz today, man.
Yeah,
It's
I
crazy.
like it, Curt. No reason to hide it. Just own your stuff. Own it.
I am owning my stuff.
I
Classical
know.
music is the best.
I'm just saying in general, you know what I mean? Just be who you are and be proud of it.
The Blue Danube. Oh, unbelievable. All right. So here's something completely different. About a quarter of Americans say that they experienced burnout before the age of, surprise, surprise, 30.
I can't believe this. Like, what's going on? So we're
30.
working ourselves to death and we're not taking care of ourselves. That's what's happening.
Right.
Seems like you can't go a day without hearing someone promising that something will make our lives easier, and yet we're more dog tired than ever.
It's true. So this is a survey found the average American experiences peak burnout at 42 years old, but younger adults, about 25% of Americans say they start experiencing burnout before the age of 30.
And
Wow.
they still have, the article that we were reading about this points out that they still have roughly 90% of their working years ahead of them still. Like, why are we burned out? So Gen Z and millennials currently aged 18 to 44 say they're reaching their highest point of stress at this is even younger, at the average age of just 25. In most cases, that's the classical that's before the classical stressors like managing career advancement, raising kids, caring for aging parents. So what's driving the early burnout?
I think some people would say because it's Gen Z and millennials, they would say, suck it up, buttercup. But they feel, yeah, I'm burning out here and I'm not 25.
It's financial concerns was the number one stress, followed by politics, work-related pressures, physical health concerns, and relationships. Those are the things on the list.
Right. And mental health was high on the list too. And can I share just real quickly here? I think if you ask me, and I think you agree with this, Jen, I think it'd be very difficult to be a young person these days.
Oh,
like when people say, hey, if you could go back, 20, 30 years and you could be 25 again, nope, not me.
in today's current day and age, you mean? Like if you could be 25 again and it'd have to be this. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, here's the thing. The financial pressures, I get it. Like how are they going to buy a house? How are they going to, my best friend's son just bought a house, but the price he paid for it, I can't even afford. He happens to be in tech.
Right.
So he can, but if you're not, it's just, and the social pressures with the whole social media and not being connected to humans. I mean, all of it. I feel bad. This world.
like with the housing market, it's like it becomes normalized. You start talking about these numbers, and the most money my parents ever spent for a house would have been in 1998. They bought a 2,000 square foot home with a pool in Florida for
Oh my
$125,000.
God, shut your mouth.
And yeah, but the funny thing is, and my dad shared this with me when they bought their first house. So this is like 1962, 63. It was $14,000. And they were like, how are we possibly ever going to pay this $14,000 house down? So, but the fact that now, and Seattle's a little bit different than some of the areas, but everything's catching up, that a median home in King County is what, $700,000, more than that?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
So here's the unfortunate thing. The trend isn't expected to change. About a third of Americans are bracing themselves for what they anticipate will be their most stressful year yet with all the, let's just start with eggs, right? And then you put the
Eggs.
and I'm not going to get political, but you put the tariffs on top of stuff. I mean, Pat
Right.
and I are like, how are we even going to build our home anymore? We don't even know.
A lot of things are being put on hold these days. And then not just for young people, and for everybody, but that's part of the process. I understand that you go through ups and downs, but it does seem like if you've got 25-year-olds saying, I'm as burned out as I'm ever going to be, that's an issue.
Yeah. I mean, what, 8 in 10, over 8 in 10 people in the poll believe that entering adulthood today is more challenging than it was a decade ago. Agreed.
There you
And
go.
7 in 10 think that becoming an adult will only get more difficult in the next decade. Depressing.
So what we're saying is hang in there and we'll try to help as much as we can. How's
If
that?
you listen to the show, we'll be helpful.
Yeah, as much as we possibly. And you've got two youngins.
I do.
I mean,
I have a 21-year-old and about to be 16.
no. Oh, she's going to start driving more.
Yeah, she is.
It's all right.
She's
It's
a
okay.
good driver. Macy's a good driver. Hey, Curt, this is all you.
No, it's not. I don't want to be accused of being thoughtless or mean or hurting feelings, Jen.
It's National
Girl Scout Day. Yes. So of course that brings us right away to Girl Scout cookies, and they did a poll, asked people what is the best Girl Scout cookie, and this is completely subjective, obviously. For instance, should we start with? We'll go in reverse order. Okay, these are the list of popularity. There's 11 Girl Scout cookie flavors on here. Maybe you haven't even had or heard of some of these. I haven't.
I haven't either.
But in reverse order, ranked the best tasting Girl Scout cookies. Number 11 is caramel chocolate chip. 10 is Adventurefuls.
Yeah, they're the chocolate ones with the caramel in the middle.
Okay, the 9th one is Trefoils, which is basically a shortbread cookie, followed by Toffee Tastics. Do-si-dos, their peanut butter sandwiches, is number 7.
I know those are one of my faves.
Do you like the s'mores? Because they're being
No,
discontinued.
I like the do-si-dos.
But do you also like the s'mores?
No.
Okay, they're being discontinued after this year. Top 5, lemonades. That's not the right name, is it?
Yeah,
lemonades?
Yeah, I don't think that we have those here though.
4 is Toast Yays, which they started in 2021. Those are being discontinued next year as well. Top 3 Girl Scout cookies. Tag-alongs. They're peanut butter patties. Samoas might be my favorite.
They're good.
And then my least favorite.
Least?
I know people like it's Thin Mints, their best-selling cookie, but I'm just not a fan of what is the peppermint patties or whatever. It's just the mint and
It's just a classic. It's just a classic Girl Scout cookie. Listen to this though. The Girl Scouts are facing a class action lawsuit over the alleged presence of heavy metals and pesticides in the Thin Mints and other cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what trace amounts that are nearly everywhere, but still get them out of cookies.
Well, this reminds me of when Subway was getting criticized because somebody's found that they had trace amounts of a product in their bread that was the same as they use in yoga mats. Do you remember that thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And while yes, that's not great, it turns out that almost all the fast food places had that item in their food. But for whatever reason, Subway took the brunt of it, and then they immediately said, you know what, we're going to get that out of there. And I think a lot of other people followed suit. So before you go judging
cancer, why are we getting cancer, people? Oh, well, there's crap in our food.
That's right. We're going to bite into something and get a big old mouthful of nickel. Seriously. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So I hope that's we'll see how that turns out. From yesterday,
Our question of the day: what's something you should stop paying for?
Indeed. Thank you for participating. All those who shared some of these things. I like the answers of, well, I should stop paying for this, but I'm not gonna.
Right. Almost all of them were. No, that's not true. Not all of them. Jenny said, what should I stop paying for? My hair, but I won't.
Right. Other things you should stop paying for, according to Melissa, cable. Amanda also said cable, so expensive and such a time suck.
Kayla, I love Kayla's answer. She said contact lenses and glasses. I mean, I get it kind of, but I didn't choose to be blind, you know?
Right.
I feel like I'm being punked every time I pay for contact lenses. I pay money like for the ability to see.
That's kind of something where you don't really have much say in the matter unless you want to walk around, feeling your way through life.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeanette says, I won't stop getting pedicures. I should, but I won't stop getting pedicures. But she works barefoot. She does. What does she do? She's
She owns the yoga studio, so she's
yes,
a yoga
okay.
teacher. Yeah.
Susie says bottled water, especially here in the Northwest, our tap water is fabulous. Those plastic bottles also fill up landfills. So
yeah,
that's a good one.
Okay, can we talk about Brian's answer, who happens to be Jeanette's, the yoga owner's husband? I read his answer and I laughed out loud. Brian said, things that I should not pay for, I should stop paying for. Sex. I'm like, Brian, what?
Listen, married, dating, or otherwise, you
It's
always
expensive.
end up paying for it. You one way or another. and finally, Ina
said bags.
Bags, yeah.
I'm sure she meant handbags, but also the plastic bags at the grocery store. I always forget my freaking reusable bags in the car. So I've lately just as like they're like, you want a bag? And I have like 100 things. I'm like, nope. Just load them in my car. I get to load my bags when I get to my car.
I'm super lame about that too. And actually, some of the bags that we keep in the car are really kind of nice. It's like, oh, this is a nice bag. We're going to use this every time we go to Fred Meyer. Nope. That's it. All right.
Curt, what's this about Wendy's and their Frosties?
I'm not 100% sure that this counts as news, but it counts as something that we would share on the Curt and Jen podcast without question.
Right.
Frosties, which I guess you would say that's Wendy's version of their shake, but it's not really a shake. It's it's more like soft serve ice cream, right?
Leveled up.
Wendy's iconic Frosty is about to get a makeover. The fast food chain announced yesterday. When's Thursday? Doesn't matter. That it will soon introduce new ways to customize the beloved sweet treat. After decades of offering only 2 flavors, if you probably know that they just have chocolate and vanilla. Customers that go to Wendy's will now have the option to enhance their Frosty experience with various sauces through Frosty swirls, or choose from a variety of mix-ins. They're calling those Frosty fusions. Jen Pirek is interested.
They're like the McFlurries.
I think that they are. Now, this is the part that's not.
Does it say any of do we get to know any of the flavors? No.
What the mix-ins will be?
Yeah.
They didn't share that. I'm going to assume that it's something delicious, not like, pickles with your ice cream. The less than newsy part of that is that they're revamping their packaging as well. So look for it. Wendy's a new cup, new lid, and blue spoon to accompany the Frosties. Freshening it up.
Well, yeah.
Just like Walmart.
They're giving it some zhuzh.
Just like Walmart with their brand new logo, right? It looks almost identical to the old logo.
I mean, I think this is more significant than the change in the logo for Walmart.
Now, why don't you share the McDonald's stuff that you found?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't like this. So,
all right.
Curt, we've been talking about like the yesteryear when we were growing up. And I remember McDonald's, like the play places were always outside when I was growing up. Like they were so fun. The Hamburglar and the Grimace outside, like all of it was so fun, right? When you go out to McDonald's. Well, then they since moved those inside, right? So they have the McDonald's play places.
Sure.
And they were crammed with like colorful structures and slides and ball pits and like all, of course, all the nasty germs, but who cares because it was fun and the kids loved it. So this went viral. This lady went to a brand new McDonald's and they still called it a play place. And in the play place was literally 2 chairs. This was in Tennessee, 2 chairs and 2 screens on the wall. And that was their play place.
Tablets. So they you come in there and here's how you play, kids. Go over there, sit in one of those 2 chairs. We've got an iPad or something stuck in the wall.
And you
there
can play
you go.
Games and learning activities. Oh. When she posted, like some of the comments
Yeah.
I like this is so depressing. That's pathetic. This ruined my day. This is the saddest example of modern society I've seen. Like McDonald's, come on.
I like the comment of nothing says childhood fun like staring at a screen.
I mean, which is
Mhm.
fun for kids. They do love it, but it's so bad for them. So why are we? I mean, okay, so let's go to a fast food place and
Right.
let's take away all the activity that they might get and let's put screens on there. So let's eat relatively bad food for you and just
Right.
sit around
Well,
the
there was a
screen.
comment on here saying, you know what, it may be that in this day and age, you can't make those things, the ball pits in particular, 100% safe and clean and germ-free. And also, in today's lawsuit happy world, the risks may outweigh the benefits. McDonald's might have said, you know what? I mean, I don't know how many lawsuits, if any, have come from a McDonald's PlayPlace, but if they're like, we just got sued for $5 million
You know, you're right
because,
because
Mhm.
parents are super overprotective these days. Anyway, like I'm like, go play, go,
Yeah,
go in that germy ball pit. That's fine.
well, you're supposed to get dirty, and all that kind of stuff. So,
Here's the
but
thing that if you're not going to do it, then just don't do it, right? Like, don't put the screen and the two chairs there. Like, just don't do it. Just put seating for families to gather, and hopefully they're not on their phones, but they're probably going to be. Just no, don't.
Jen Purick has spoken, everybody. There you go. Clorox.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to do a preface. Chris, like, are we going to narrow down this article, Jen Pirak? Because there's a lot of sciencey stuff in here, and I'm like, okay, yes, I'll do the best I can.
Right.
Clorox announced this new brand platform that they're going to launch that's called Clean Feels Good. This is amazing to me.
Hmm.
That reimagines what brings small moments of satisfaction into people's daily lives. And it includes this innovative research. I'll get to that. But anyway, they have found that the act of cleaning sparks joy. Period. End of story. The evidence is conclusive in the study that they did, where they brought in people and they
Hmm.
hired this neuroscience company to do the study that compared brain activity in response to 3 cleaning activities and 7 feel good activities. And the results were very unexpected. And it reveals that cleaning feels good,
Right.
really good. It
Well, I like
feels
this.
really
The
good.
1 in 5 people said that they clean all the time to improve their mood. And I would say the same thing for like for me, it's like mowing the lawn. It's like even though I grumble about it, once you're done with it, it's like, hey, I feel pretty good about that. But what's the science with what's the stuff with Clorox though?
Okay, so they like one of the activities was cleaning the toilet. So they were measuring the neurons in your brain like that sparks joy, right? So
Okay.
people cleaning the toilet, which can be like to me, it's one of the worst things, really, like when you talk about it.
Right.
Neural signatures measured show that 4 in 10 people cleaning the toilet felt better than listening to their favorite song.
Wow.
And
Wow.
petting a puppy only felt 5% better than cleaning the toilet, showing that America is not quite as wary of cleaning the toilet bowl as they thought.
Wait, so where that was 5% said petting a puppy
Only
only
five
felt
only
5% better than
5%
cleaning
felt
your
better than
toilet.
cleaning the toilet, right?
And petting a puppy is like the ultimate thing in the world, isn't it?
Well, for many people, yes. Some may think
Okay.
that there's nothing better than the first sip of coffee, but Clorox experiments show that people don't need an overpriced latte to feel good. Cleaning away gunk and grime from the sink felt as good as having their favorite beverage.
Wow.
Let's see. The aftermath of a sparkly space, but in the act of wiping up a kitchen counter has a positive effect on brain activity. Um, let's see. The neurological results showing it felt 6% better than getting a massage. So wiping down the counter
Yeah.
showed 6% felt better than getting a massage.
Is this where we say you could save a lot of money by not getting massages and instead just wiping down your counter all day?
Yeah. Let's see. Let me just give you, I think there's a couple more. Wiping down the kitchen counter and scrubbing the sink produced a positive response similar to more time-consuming, enjoyable activities like watching a funny video or getting a manicure.
Wow.
Like this is real, like real hard science stuff. Wiping
Well,
stains and spills from the surfaces was considered one of the most universally feel-good cleaning tasks. 88% of respondents said that they felt good after wiping down surfaces. So Clorox
yep.
is releasing a new TV spot showing these real responses from the real people.
Hmm. That's a great idea. It's like, hey, you know what? Not only are you going to have a clean house and Clorox does a great job, but you're also going to feel better. And here's the proof.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? If you really stop and think about it, like if you're really being honest with yourself, I mean, I do get a lot of satisfaction off of cleaning a dirty counter.
Hmm.
I do.
Done and done. I need to
Yeah.
work on that then, because as a newly minted house husband, I do those things begrudgingly, but I need to tap into the
Embrace it,
goodness.
Curt Cruz, embrace it. All right.
Embrace it. All
Okay, our last story before our question of the day, which I love this. Kurt, you go to Florida a lot, so obviously I would ask you, have you ever been to Taintsville? Florida.
Taintsville, I had not heard of, but I do like what this is leading to, which is they have come up with the most lewd sounding town name in every state.
We're not going to go through every state. We're just going to, I don't know. I don't have good enough geography.
Right. So there's a town in Florida called Taintsville that people unfortunately have to live with the name that, hey, I live in Taintsville. It's like, oh, interesting.
I love Alaska's Mary's Igloo.
Well, we've also got it, and it, you know, sometimes when you get to the areas where you have more like Native American names and stuff like that, people like, for instance, in Washington, it's hump tulips, you know,
Well,
hump tulips.
okay, what about in Oregon, just our neighboring state, Wanker's Corner? There is a town called Wanker's Corner, and in California, Rough and Ready.
Right. You've got Butts, Butts, Georgia. Apparently, can we talk about the one here in South Carolina?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I don't know where South Carolina is on the map, so I don't know what you're referring
It's right
to.
there next to Butts, Florida, or Butts, Georgia.
Sugar Tit?
There you go.
Sugar Tit. There's also Big Bone.
Mm-hmm.
There's also Booty, Cooter. These are cities. Beaver
Right.
City.
There's PP Township, Ohio. There's Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Excuse me. There's Dick, Washington. I'm sorry, Michigan, Dick. Speaking of Michigan, since I live there, I can share this with you. If you're heading on I-75 through Michigan, northbound on I-75, there is exit 69, which leads to Big Beaver Road. I'm not making that up. North 75, exit 69 in Michigan. You get off there if you get off there to go to Big Beaver Road. So, and then maybe you don't want to live here, and there's a Maryland Blue Ball Village. So I don't know if you'd want to live in Blue Ball Village.
That doesn't seem pleasant to me.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons, but mostly Big Beaver. Wow.
Fun. I like that one. There's so many more.
Question O the day.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Question of the day. What food do you refuse to share? What food do you refuse to share? Here's the thing. My best friend Cher,
Mhm.
I've known her since middle school. We were going to the Puyallup Fair. It was called the Puyallup Fair back then when we were going there for a concert. And we had a long drive. It was midweek. So you know this drive, Curt. It's grueling. I mean, it takes so long. And we were starving, but we didn't want to stop because if we stopped, we'd miss the concert. And Cher had brought a score bar with her.
SKOR score.
SKOR score bar, a candy bar. And we're like, oh, can you share? Can we have a piece? And she's like, absolutely not. I will not share my score bar. I won't. She didn't. None of us got a little piece of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that this is going to be a popular answer, but I am going to go ahead and share mine because with Dana, my wife, it's not French fries, and this is going to sound like a plug. She will not share Sean O'Donnell French fries.
She will not.
She thinks they're the best. Now, if we're, you know what, if we're at the restaurant, you know, you get a big plate full of them, that's fine. But if we do to go and take some home, nope.
Oh, okay.
They're her fries from Sean O'Donnell's.
What?
And you know what? That's okay with me. You got to have your thing.
Do you have something you won't share?
No, but I know something that you won't share with me. I take that back. You shared an awful lot of Arby's sauce one day, the horsey sauce from Arby's. You put those packets all over my truck. Ha ha
I will
ha.
tell you something I do not like to share. Like, we go to the restaurant and I'm like, I am ordering my own order. You guys can order one to share. I'm getting my own. And it's at Tobless, right there in Mill Creek Town Center.
Mhm.
Tobless restaurant. They have bacon wrapped dates.
I've not had those.
They're freaking delicious, and I will
Okay.
not share my order.
And this is where you do the joke. It's topless, not topless.
It's because when I actually, you're right. Because when I ask Siri to dictate something for me and I'm using topless restaurant, it always comes up topless. I'm like, you're not listening.
But your boyfriend and I would be happy to go to the topless restaurant, especially if you
It's time to wrap it up.
let us know, what food do you refuse to share? We'd love to hear about that.
Putting it on Facebook. So go to Facebook. Have a good hump day.
Yes, hump tulips.
We're almost to Friday. Make good choices, find joy, spread kindness, and
Laugh, everybody.
thank you for listening.